Here's how you get in touch with us here on Ask the Expert, 613-789-6559, extension 2803, with Brenda Hollingsworth from Auger Hollingsworth, personal injury lawyers. Ottawa.morning at ctv.ca. Sometimes we're getting several calls here, and we're fielding those calls right now to see if, in fact, we can answer them, because there's some areas that are just too tricky to deal with. You don't deal with different cases depending on the circumstances.
Well, that's right. Like, I wouldn't deal with a divorce, for example.
Yeah.
And some people are, I mean, there are some different areas that seem similar, but that are different. Like, for example, WSIB.
Which is what?
That is where you're injured at work. So workplace injuries, there's a provincial insurance fund that deals with those.
You don't?
We don't do that. It's very specialized, and lawyers who do that tend to do it exclusively.
All right.
So some employment lawyers do it, and then there are people, so you want to look for a WSIB lawyer if that's your area.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
If in fact this is a workplace thing.
Yep, you want to look for someone who specializes in WSIB.
So you simply do that, and you can recommend people.
Oh yeah,
area,
if you're
right?
looking for recommendation, you can always call us. We know who's doing what.
I noticed down one column of your website, there's all kinds of recommendations and so on. You know, bus accidents, all that sort of thing, bicycle claims, car accident claims on the left-hand side here. These are all things you do with.
That's right, and
right.
these generally are answers to questions people have asked me in the past. So
right.
if one of my clients asks a question, I think, gee, a lot of people would like to know that. We'll do a blog post in response to it.
Right.
For example, further up there was questions about accidents on the bus. I mean, city bus accidents happen all the time.
Yeah, what about that?
Well, those are viable claims. If you're injured while you're riding either OC Transpo or the STO, you know, they run in Ottawa too. If you're injured on those vehicles, you may have a claim.
That's a personal injury?
Sure it is. Even if there isn't a crash, right? Sometimes people are sent flying if the driver stops too suddenly or, you know, evades something on the road. Lots of people are injured that way. I have probably 5 cases where people have had to have knee surgery because they've fallen on the bus.
Really?
Yeah. Now, sometimes the person did something foolish, right?
So, depending on the circumstances, are many of them in line for compensation?
They are, yeah. As long as it's, you know, you can put it on the driver's responsibility.
Right.
You know, if you stand up when you're not supposed to be standing up and you are dancing in the aisle, you're not going to be compensated.
No. No.
Yeah, but and I mean, most of the time though, those cases resolve.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. For a lot of people, I think part of the difficulty lies, Brenda, in not knowing whether or not they have something that could be a case.
Right, and that's why you need to make the call.
Right.
Right, because we can tell you very quickly if there's no chance.
Right.
Right. I had somebody call me a while ago, and you know, fell down some stairs in a municipal park. Well, that sounds like a case that you want to look at. Was there anything wrong with the stairs, that kind of thing? But then it turns out that the more you ask questions, they were actually fenced off as, you know, do not enter.
Right.
And he jumped over the fence and then fallen down
Well,
the
then
stairs.
that's your own responsibility.
That's right.
Right.
So,
but a good question to ask.
Sure, ask the question.
Yeah, like I said previous to the break, there are no dumb questions when it comes to this, because it's such a gray area for so many people.
That's right. So you might as well ask, and then you know, right?
Right.
And you know, if you call our office, we'll tell you if we can help you. If we can't help you, we'll try and direct you to someone who can.
Right. Like WSIB cases.
That's right. Or if it's a case that's too small for us, we have names of lawyers we refer to for smaller cases.
Right.
So there really is no downside to making that call.
Yeah. And we appreciate the people who called in. We had several calls there a second ago with WSIB cases, but if you want some advice, call Brenda and she can put you in the right direction.
Yeah, we have a couple lawyers we refer people to for those.
Exactly. Here's how you get in touch with Auger Hollingsworth. Simple to do. There's the email address, the telephone number. Believe me, your consultation can be on the telephone or in person, and people will look after you. They'll help you out, tell you which direction you should be headed. So get in touch and find out more and ask those questions and see what happens. Go down that road. Thanks, Brenda. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Brenda Hollingsworth from Auger Hollingsworth here on Ask the Expert. It's coming up on 9:42. Quick break, and there's more of CTV Morning Live just ahead. We'll be right back.